I like the motion that we start the meeting at 12:06, 9/18/2021. Anybody like to make the motion? Second the motion?
I second the motion.
Okay, let's get started.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We're gonna have a prayer at this time by our new chaplain, Annette Buford Frost. Oh, you're muted, Annette. You're muted.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, God, for another opportunity for us to meet on this morning as we gather together on Zoom. Heavenly Father, we come today asking you for your guidance, your wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussions, allow us to grow closer, and to nurture the bonds of our program. And I want to say thank you again for food on my table, our table. Thank you that we had somewhere to sleep last night. Thank you for our strength and our health. We know that we've had some storms last week in Louisiana and Texas, and we thank you that that has passed, and we pray that there's quick recovery. And above all, just thank you for allowing us to be here again, because we know we didn't have to be here. And in your glory and awesome name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Cut that short.
Thank you, Annette. And I'm sharing my screen for the agenda. I know I sent out the agenda. Let me make it presentation mode. Okay, there we go. And everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay. We've already had the prayer. I don't think we have enough people on because I'm only counting 7 people, but I don't think we have anything to vote on, so we'll be okay. Go on down to the minutes report. I sent out the link by email for people to view on YouTube. I think the only thing that if anybody have anything that needs to be corrected, and we will start, we're trying to get someone to take on the role of secretary as we're trying to see what's happening with Whitney. But that's one of the things we may have to just appoint someone to be the secretary as well, because I know Whitney's doing a lot of stuff with her unit overseas. So we'll move on to the church report by Cedric Hill.
Hey, Rich, I thought we were gonna let the Lieutenant Colonel Campbell go first.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead, Lieutenant Colonel Campbell. Let me stop the share.
Yeah, I don't want to bogart the meeting here. For those of you that are aware, last year we did a Veterans Day observation ceremony and vigil on Prairie View, and I'm looking to do that again this year. I am starting a lot earlier than I did last year. Last year, I think I threw it together in like 2 or 3 weeks because I came back from FTX and threw it together, and I think it executed well, but there were a couple things where had we got a little bit more support on day, things would have gone smoother. I'm in the process of drafting an email. I do have Mr. Hamilton, Mr. Rector, and I was going to put Ms. Buford Frost on there as well. If there's somebody else you want, it's just for SA on that. Put on the email of who I'm talking to, and I got Frank Jackson, Mr. Bowie, Mr. Rohrman, and Mr. Pearson as well from the university. And so I have a number of things I'm trying to get. These are my goals. It would be real awesome if I hit all my goals. However, I don't expect to hit all my goals. I would like to have the event to be at the very least as executed at the same level as last year, at the least. But I would like to improve. So that's why I'm starting early. So far, I've reached out to the Navy program here and the Air Force program at Houston. I'm trying to get all branches involved because I think that's big stuff. I might have to make some sacrifices because the Navy and the Air Force don't have as many cadets as us. So what my goal of doing a 24-hour vigil may not be possible unless I make some alterations, but we're all able to react appropriately, and I could create a plan for that. So there's a number of things that I would like to execute. And again, any of you all that can support, I'm not looking for financial support in anything. It's just one, I'm looking for a guest speaker. I would like it to be a PV alumni. I would like it to be some military, and my immediate goal is somebody who's still active with Prairie View, just because I think it hits a little bit closer to home. And last year we were able to do that. I still got, Mr. Jackson did last year, and then Mr. Pearson is obviously an ideal candidate for that for this year. But that's not to exclude anybody else out, and I'm open to anybody else or anybody else that wants to come help or add something on board with that. I think we fell short with coordinating with the local Veteran Affairs office on campus. I think we fell short of making that in conjunction with sort of a thing. And so I think this additional planning we might be able to combine a couple events and make it a holistic effort. So I'm willing to entertain recommendations. I'm kind of, the goal is to, so my school, University of Portland in Oregon, we did this every year and it was very successful, and they built it up to something real big. I'm trying to get that kick-started, and I would hope that this carries on when I leave, just because it's definitely an Army thing. It's a military thing. It's something we should do, and I think the university should do that too. So that's my pitch. I'm going to send out an email if anybody would like to be included in that kind of shotgun blast email. I can include them, but I do have a couple names on that already. And that's the main thing. I'm opening some stuff up, and I do have a couple other things in progress too, but I think somebody had reached out about some support to the upcoming the death race, the Baton Death March.
Yeah, and Matthew is on the phone. What we had did, we had did a raffle. One of the prizes was a $200 Southwest Airlines gift card. And what he wanted to do, he won that prize, so he wanted to donate it toward a cadet. If they wanted to go, that's $200 that they could use. I think that's what Fred had talked with you about. So
Yes.
I think he still works in the Matthew, and you could come on and speak to it. I think he works in the El Paso office, but I let him speak to you more about that.
And good afternoon, everyone. I believe the Southwest airline tickets, I offered to give that to for the PMS to use at his discretion to help anyone who needs to get home on based on an emergency or whatever financial assistance that someone needs to get back home. So that's why I offered it up in that case, not for the Baton Death March. What I offered for the Baton Death March was to sponsor the payment for the entry fee, as well as this transportation and the lodging for one or two individuals. And that's something that I think I offered that last year, or I should say, maybe was it last year?
You did. COVID kind of stopped that.
Yes, but my understanding is that they're having it this year, and so I'm still willing to sponsor that as well.
So I want to add on that. So you know, we had the discussion about not getting crazy. 1 or 2 is awesome. I would like to, and hear me out before we cut in here. I would like to send a team, and the team consists of at least one cadre, and that cadre would be me. I'm not looking for support from me. I'm self-support. I would like to send a team that has to be at least 5. So my thoughts are, hold on. You continue to support 1 to 2 for the lodging, transportation, whatever. And then I will use I do have some PV funds, some ROTC funds that I could support them. Now the cadets got a little crazy and say, hey, I want to send the whole MS4 class. And I said, no, calm down. I don't want to do that. That's way too much. And really, to be honest, not all of them are at the level of like, so they don't want to go the heavy, they want to do the light, they want to do the civilian. I'm saying, if I'm gonna put the effort into going over there, I want to be heavy and military team. That means I'm in uniform, 35-pound ruck, and I'm walking as a group. I don't want to go in civilian clothes. Why am I wasting my time? I don't want to go without a rucksack. Go ahead and do a marathon instead. So my thoughts are to get at least 5 people, and I've really got 5 people already. And then I would use the support you offered for the 1 to 2 individuals. And then on top of that, I would throw on some university funds that I have allocated. What I'd do is I'd transfer that to them, and then they would pay their own way that I would give those funds. What I would like to do is, I don't know if there's, because my concern was transportation and lodging mainly. So how we get out there, I'm anticipating a flight, and then the lodging, and then the in and around transportation. I don't know if there's a local unit that could host us, put us in a barracks or something so that we don't have to get hotels or something. We can work through that, but I'm trying to cut costs, and the ways I can see cut costs is if there's a National Guard or Reserve unit or something out there that could help with the transportation, get us to and from airport, lodging to the event, and maybe put us up in a bay or something. That would be awesome.
I can talk with you after this, but I'm sure UTEP and New Mexico State usually have teams participating in that, and they're both down the road from White Sands. And they also might have a tent to lodge and house everyone where you don't have to pay anything. So just something to consider. But I'm willing to work with you to help sponsor a couple of your individuals to go out there.
I surely got to have at least the two, yeah.
Okay. And
Right. And just to let you know, we're gonna have a raffle, Colonel Campbell. Okay. Matthew, will you finish? I want to cut you out.
yes, I'm done.
Okay. We're gonna hold another raffle to where we're trying to like create a base of scholarship funds. I know you reached out to me about a student who needed some help. So we're trying to do that. We actually have started the endowment to where it's a scholarship that we're trying to put in place for anyone, whether they Army or Navy. If they need assistance, it's going to be specifically for them. That's the only criteria, and they got to be a student in good standing. So we got it, baby. I think what we said, a 2.7 GPA. So because we want to be a student that's showing the things to get in there, but we know people have issues. But that's one of the things that we started. In November, we're going to do a popcorn sale, online popcorn sale. We'll send out the notice to you. If you can help send it around to people to help generate funds, that's the next fundraiser we're doing.
Too easy.
Okay. Anybody got anything else for Colonel Campbell?
I want to jump on that scholarship thing. So the university does throw some money at me, and honestly, they shortchanged me last year. I had exhausted all the funds, but they did not pay the last 2 requests out. So I'm trying to use all that money this year because I feel like the university, if they offer me up, whatever they offer me up. So my goal is I wanted to do a scholarship, and actually Cadet Jenkins, the Cadet Battalion Commander, proposed this to offer to cadets that we haven't met the criteria. It's looking like it's going to be a weighted OML that encompasses OPAT, GPA, and attendance to PT, class, and lab. And we're going to offer that up to maybe 3, maybe 5, depends on what the cost is. And what I would cover room and board on campus for those cadets that the highest on the OML. So again, we're hitting the top of the list, those cadets that maybe already have tuition and fees. And I'm gonna throw on that room and board part with that university money. So I think multiple opportunities for the cadets. A lot of them are, they got tuition and fees coming, but they still got to pay room and board. I'm not trying to pay their house downtown, no, but this is definitely a university room. I think I can handle that, tolerate that. So if you let me know more about the scholarship, I will put that out there and let them know that they can, and how they can get nominated for that, I guess.
Well, it's going to be, right now we're generating the funds for it. So it's actually not in play. We have 5 years, but we're trying to be real aggressive to where we get it in place quicker than 5 years.
Okay.
But we're still trying to create a pool of money. Like we had those one-off requests, like you said the student needed some help. I asked the student to do a video so that they could hear the request, the chapter could hear the request from me. So I didn't want you to think that I was trying to put under requirement just so the chapter could hear it from them, because I can tell them about it, but I think it'll have a greater impact if they hear it directly from the student. But we're trying to generate it. So if we have something we can do like a one-off, if special need that we can take care of right away. So that's one of the things we're trying to do as well. Penny, anyone have any?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We still are able to make donations to the university and earmark it for the ROTC department.
Right.
On an individual basis.
I would say if you do that, make sure that people know that, because I don't feel a lot of love from the university, and I'm not feeling a whole bunch of love from the university. There's a lot of requests that I got. There's a lot of things where I don't feel the support there from the university, and I'm working on that. It's real tough being shortchanged on personnel to go after and try to go after those areas, but I really don't feel a whole lot of support. I'm seeing a lot of other programs getting support that we don't. And to be honest, if I may speak frankly, we look like that university, and we don't get the same support that some of the other universities get. And it's really, really obvious when we go to cadet summer training and we look like the have-nots. And when we go to these FTXs with these other schools, they get $17,000 Polarises and all these massive tents and all these top kits. And we don't have that stuff. We look like the have-nots. And it also, if you want to be 100% honest, we are the HBCU intermixed in these schools, and it just looks like it, it's also the HBCU that's the have-nots, and I want to turn it into a big thing, but it really just like we don't get the support, and I would like to change that, but I don't know who to talk to get that done. Well,
Let me ask this, is Ms. Williams still at the Office of Development?
I have not talked to Miss. I don't know who that is, so
Her name is Carmi Williams.
I don't believe I've had a conversation with her.
Okay, all right.
Again, this may be, and a part of the problem is trying to get to the right person, because everybody, the whole pandemic last year made it so that I couldn't walk over and go see somebody, because some people were teleworking and it was just real hard to get. So maybe I'm just not talking to the right people, but getting that stuff, like when the CG came to visit, I had to rent a golf cart to escort them around, and other schools are buying them a Polaris so they could drive around at their leisure, and it says Army ROTC for such and such school. Like, I feel like there's just a complete difference, and our cadets see that and it's like, well, why don't we get the same support as them? Why is that?
Yeah.
If you know a person to talk to, I would love to reach out and figure out how we get more support.
I just want to say this, Michael Houston, who was one of my classmates, is now the Director of Transportation, I believe, there at the university. And Michael went through ROTC and everything.
If you could coordinate, get me in touch with them, and I could plead my case. Like I said, I'm not asking for more than anybody else gets, but I would like to be like a near peer with some of these other schools. We got 50 cadets here, maybe they got 200, but we're never going to get to that point if we don't have anything to offer the kids. Other schools have more to offer the kids and we don't, other than, hey, I'm going to do my best for you. That's all the kids know, is that Colonel Campbell's going to go to bat for them, but Colonel Campbell's only here for a short amount of time, and then I don't know what the next guy's doing. So I would like to offer the cadets more, give more incentive for them not to transfer. I did lose a kid to Texas A&M, and it's like, well, they went to Texas A&M, and they knew that they were trying to do that, but I have nothing to sell anybody that wants to go to a school with more resources. I can't do anything else.
Yeah. And that's why I say I want to start coming down there more, because I used to work there, so I can try to get some of those relationships back again.
I say this from what I hear from you now, what I've heard from you in the past. It seems like there's a lot of, I guess from my perspective, from where I sit, it might be due to the COVID, but it seemed like there needs to be some relationship building from with you and your team there with the rest of the university, and to let them know what your needs are and how them fulfilling those needs will make a difference. And if you don't have a strategic communication or not communicating that well, they won't help you. But having said that, I think we also, as the alumni, can also support you in whether it's attending those meetings to help share with them how those type of things can make a difference and reflect positively on the university as well as the program.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. That's why I was saying that I'm going to start going down there, because I still know a lot of people haven't worked there within the past 5 years, but and I can assist with some of those relationship builders, get them in contact with the right people. So because I think that's one of the things that is lacking. We do need to have more of a presence. That's why I say I want to commit to at least going on there one Thursday a month where I engage with the cadets, so it won't be such a they actually see us and be able to know that we're there, and they can actually interact with us more. So I think, and Jeff Rector said he's willing to do that with me too. So we just need more people, like when they have stuff, and like Matthew, I like what you're going to do with the Baton Death March. We just need to get more engaged with the program as a whole.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah. How's it going, Earl?
I'm good. Hey, Colonel Campbell, this is Colonel Terry. Hey, your comment about the lack of support is something that you are not the first to have said that.
Yeah.
And we're trying to figure out where that lack of communication is, or where that breakdown is between the ROTC department and the university. I don't know if you have a good relationship with your department head. I'm not sure who that is, but
Dr. Gilbert, she took over, and I understood that the prior dean of BCAS was a good relationship. We do not have a good relationship.
Okay, all right. So
she doesn't understand. Yeah.
So at least at this point, that's where it started. Now I know the previous department head, there initially was not a whole lot of support because he was unaware of what the issues and concerns were with the ROTC department, because the previous PMS did not relay those issues to the department head. He tried to handle it himself, which is fine. But when you get to the point where you no longer have the resources, internal to you to get things done, then you gotta tell your boss, right? So once he was able to, tell the boss what was going on, under his tenure, he started to see more things happen. So it sounds like in your case, because you have this new person there who's probably has no idea how the military operates, what cadet command is, what a PMS does, right, et cetera, what are the cadets doing? That might be an opportunity to have some sort of, either invite her to your department to see what's going on. No different than we do when you're out there with the forces, right? Bring the boss in, show the boss, all the great things that you're doing, and at the same time tell the boss what it is you need, right? And I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir to you. You've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. I get it, but we all know that the military and the civilian world operate just a little differently, right, when it comes to this stuff. So I would probably venture to say that you might want to at least start with her in terms of a dialogue, and what it is that you need as for in terms of requirements, and how she can best assist you and or give you some advice or other personnel within the university that can get you the things that you need for the cadets. And like I said, I'm not saying that's the answer, but it's at least a start based on where you currently are and how it was prior to you getting there. So obviously there obviously was no handover, right? No left seat, right seat deal between the previous boss that you had and who the current boss is. So I would probably start there. At least that way, your department head is completely aware of what your concerns are, what your requirements are, and basically where your gaps are, and how can the university help fill those gaps. And then once your boss says, okay, here's what I can or can't do, or here's where I won't or won't do, if that's not sufficient, then obviously you do what the military trains you to do, right? Is, hey, I'd like permission to go talk to the next person, right, to get me the things I need, because this is unacceptable. We're losing students for minor things, right? And not to say room and board is minor. However, the university has the money to do it, and we just need to present that to whomever it needs to be presented to state the case. Right. And that's going to require, obviously, the research and the data to support what you're saying. So, and I know this, but I certainly was unaware that you have a new department head. And I venture to guess that she has no idea how the military, how cadet command operates within the university system. Over.
And I think I would open it up. I don't want to take the whole meeting time. If anybody wants to talk to me about it, again, I think it was Mr. Washington had mentioned who's the right person I need to talk to. I have a good working relationship with the Navy PMS, and we both are having some struggles with the current dean And we could talk about that offline, what I've tried so far and what's worked, what's not worked. But again, that's what I found effective is knowing who the right person is to talk to. And I often don't know who the right person is for certain things. And I think that would help me out with that. But we can carry that conversation offline so that we're not taking over the rest of this meeting. I know you have other things to talk about.
Okay, well, I think we have a good start, and like I say, send an email about like the veterans thing, and I'll shoot it out to everybody in the chapter. So I think we have a lot of people that would like participate in that. So
okay, and I will shoot that out. I'm working on it right now. I'll probably shoot that out and then go out and observe a little bit more training.
all right, we thank you for your time, and you can remain on the call, but we're gonna
Yes.
go ahead and move on to the next thing. All right, share my screen again. All right, so now we're up to the treasury report by Cedric Hill.
Is he still on?
Yeah, he was still on.
I'm saying.
You don't see him anymore?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I can speak to it. Okay, I didn't realize he dropped off. Okay. What we have here, basically, the expenses of $1,091.98 was for the raffle that we had and the prizes, as well as the chapter affiliation fee and the membership dues we need to send in for everyone who paid their dues in August. So as you can see from the breakdown, we sent $690 in for the chapter dues, which includes the affiliation fee as well as the annual dues for those who are not life members. We brought in the you see what we took in is from the raffle sales, $1,254, and then the life member fees and annual dues for the members who paid up. Just dropped our membership down, but the amount taken in was $2,054, which brought our total to $1,588.42. So that's how much we currently have in the bank account. And as you know, your anniversary date is when you paid your dues. I know Walter paid his late after Sid had generated this report, but Walter, we did get your fees. And Cornelius Blackshear said in his affiliation dues, he's an affiliate member this year because he's on the board with he's president of a board, so he won't be able to be involved this time. Anyone have any questions about what's on the treasury report?
Hey, Rich, just FYI, kind of here just called me, and he stated that for some unknown reason he got dropped from the call. He's trying to reconnect right now, but he's having some issues. But
okay.
Oh.
All right. So does anyone have any questions about the treasury report? Okay. And this is just how much the annual dues are per year for non-life members. And that's what it is for the life membership. At this time, we would need a motion to someone to make a motion to accept the treasury report.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasury report as read.
I second.
Okay. So it was Jeff that made the motion. Who seconded the motion?
Walt Smiley.
Okay, Walter Smiley. Okay. So it's been moved and properly second that the treasury report be accepted as read. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Okay, next we'll go on to the Spotlight Committee.
Of course, good afternoon, everyone. Colonel Jeff Rector here. Next slide. Of course, the purpose and the current issues remain the same. No major concerns in this on this committee. However, for the upcoming spotlights, I did receive some email from one of our team members, Annette Buford Frost, and she said she made some other recommendations on some additional spotlights. So those should be added to the list shortly. We're just waiting on some additional bios. However, I must state that if anybody have anybody they want to add to the spotlights, be spotlighted in the upcoming editions of the the Panther newsletter, please let us know. And also, we need the information as soon as possible. We try to get it into the Army ROTC department no later than the first couple of days of the month. But right now, we kind of getting behind a little bit. So please, if you can, just let me know and let one of us know on the team, and we can definitely, make sure everything is good to go with the right picture and forward it over to the powers that be. Any of your questions? That's all I have for the Spotlight Committee.
All right. Does anyone have any questions about the Spotlight Committee? If not, we'll move on to the Fundraising Committee report. I know Fred won't be able to be on. And the only thing you've already covered before, after talking about the raffle, we made a total of $852.05 after everything had been paid out. So the raffle was real successful. But the only thing we want to talk about is that we didn't have a lot of participation. We didn't participate from everyone in the chapter. We had a few people that did it, and that's fine, but we need more than just 5 or 6 people trying to work the fundraisers. We had 30-something members. Said you're trying to say something? I think you're muted.
No, I wasn't trying to say anything. I'm back on. I finally got back on.
Okay.
If anybody got any questions about the report, then we can circle back around when you get through.
Okay. All right. And that's one of the things we want to talk about. We're going to do a online popcorn fundraiser starting from November 1st through November 5th. And it's only 4 days, and everyone, the people purchase it online is sent to them directly. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to deliver the popcorn or anything. It's just at the end of the 5 days, they calculate, and we get, I think, 50%. Say, you can speak to how much we get back from the fundraiser?
50%.
50% from what is sold. And so we're looking at if every member can get at least, and it should be doable if you send it out to all your friends, get at least, what was the numbers we said? Say it.
I think we said if every member can get at least $500 in sale, then we'll probably be looking at about a $3,700 profit.
So it just takes, you promoting with your friends and sending it out. We're not saying that we don't want to where you have to buy everything, but just, send it out to all your friends and try to get them on board. We've used this in other organizations. It's been real successful, even though you only have 4 days. It's just about getting the word out. We'll be sending an email out shortly so you can, as a save the date, but it's still about everybody participating and all hands on deck to make it be successful. And that way it won't be so much on everyone having to always pitch in out of their pocket to make things work. If we really push the fundraisers, we'll be able to have money to do those things that we want to do without always having to ask people to donate directly out their pocket. He also wants to do a bingo, but he needs somebody to coordinate the bingos, and that's something we hook you up with the LA alumni chapter, because they've done several and they're successful. They can walk you through how to do it and how to set it up, because it's all done online. Pending that, if anybody have any questions about what's on the fundraising chart. Oh, one other thing to know, we're still trying to push forward with the coin, but we have an answer for it by next month about what we're going to do as far as sales for the coin in conjunction with homecoming. So we don't want you to think that we've forgotten about the coin, but we are still just trying to come up with another alternative where we create our own coin that's similar to what the university has. If there are no questions, we'll move on to the next committee, which is the scholarship committee. And there's really been no change. And it's not August 26th. That's the current totals as of, August 26th was the last day. I got an update from the university, still at $5,280. And this is the scholarship we were talking about, Colonel Campbell, the endowment that we're setting up. And I guess I need to meet with the committee. I know it's been a lot of things happening, but I'll meet with the committee so we can come up with a plan where we reach out to other corporations to try and get sponsors. If there are no questions, this is how you could pay it. And I know you can pay via check, because some people have made it. If you got like mutual funds, I think Colonel Shaw sent in a payment from a mutual fund to help pay for what he donated to the scholarship account. So it's various ways. If your company wants to do matching funds, they have that set up. It just has to go through the foundation, and it's just going to be noted for the scholarship, and it'll route through the foundation to university, be put into our scholarship account. And you can get with me offline if you need to know how to do that. I can walk you through that process. Are there any questions? Yes.
Yeah, so what is the criteria for the recipients? ROTC cadets?
The criteria we set up was they have to be a member of either program, the Army or the Navy. I think we set it at a 2.6 or 2.7 GPA. So it'll cover students who are actually, trying to make sure they meet the requirements for it. And I think that's it. They just have to have a financial need.
Okay.
I can send you the actual details. I just got to look through the notes. I can tell you the actual details, but I think that's it.
Hey, Richard.
That's the requirements.
Hey, Richard, is that a scholarship that goes directly to the student or the ROTC department?
It goes directly to the student.
Okay, so, and this might be a question for Colonel Campbell. Is there at the department itself, is there some sort of scholarship fund for the department to address some of those issues that Colonel Campbell was bringing up? In other words, is there a fund that the department has set up where people can donate to the department?
I can check and see. I check with LaShonda Williams, because that's who I talked to. I talk with her, see if there's another fund where people can donate money directly, and I can get an answer to that and send it to Colonel Campbell and to the chapter.
Hey, okay, I got a question about that. So what would be the difference between this endowment and what we just talked about right there?
Where the endowment will be based on financial need, it'd be given out by the, I guess it'd be given out by the financial aid office, whereas the money from the scholarship, I think Colonel Campbell would maintain control of that. I think that's what Earl is talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
that endowment is given to the cadet that meets that criteria.
Right.
And it goes directly to the cadet. But this what I'm asking about is money that can be donated for directly to the department, the ROTC department, for its general use.
Okay, I acknowledge that. I understand.
I hear where we going with this. Based on, from my perspective, it appears that this endowment will not be, at this pace we're on now, would not be ready to provide a scholarship until sometime in 2025.
Right.
So is there another internal plan scholarship that we can do internally to address some of the immediate needs of the students that we can be responsive to in the next 6 months or a year?
I guess, and that's one thing we could talk about. We could bring it up at the next meeting. We're creating like different funds. That's why we had the allocation of how money comes in, whether it's through dues or through fundraising, how it's allocated. We put a portion for scholarship, a portion for the operating funds, a portion for fellowship, and a portion for mentorship. So the stuff that's in scholarship, I guess if we don't have anything we do with it, then we can, at the end of the year, we can donate that to the university as a to help meet the goal of what we need for the endowment.
Yeah. Well,
And but we can use the money if we generate money for this, we can use it, and the chapter would have to just make a decision on it. If we can use it to help out a student, say if something come up, they just need a one-time need within like the next 6 months.
I'm not an expert on endowment, but in my understanding, the way endowments work is that it's the endowment is invested or interest and all that good stuff, and that's where you get your scholarship from. So even if we get to 25,000 within the next 5 years, there will not be enough funds available until probably 2030 at the pace that we're going on, unless some big donator comes in and donate a significant amount. So having said that, maybe the committee would like to, or we as a chapter might want to look at an internal scholarship to maybe help fund some of the immediate needs in the near term future. So I don't want to deviate too much, but I just wanted to share that with you.
And like I say, we'll just make a note and bring it up at the next meeting. And that's why I said we could talk about using the money if we're going to allocate it. When we do the fundraiser, a portion goes into like a scholarship account. We can then decide how we can use that money that's in a scholarship account we want to use to help a student right then, or we can add it to the endowment. Yeah. So, but like I say, I think that's a good idea. We could put it on the agenda to bring it up at another meeting. Somebody else was trying to talk. I'm sorry, I saw a name pop up. Did you have something you wanted to say? Okay, I guess if there are not any more,
Hey,
if there,
I was trying to get off mute. I'm online with the endowment. I understand that once we meet the criteria for that funds, it'll be self-sustaining. But the immediate scholarship needs, is there any other 501c3 avenue that we can donate to that can be directed for scholarships? I'm saying that because at the end of the day, if there is a ability to get a tax donation, I'll contribute all day long. And so I'm pretty sure other folks will be the same way.
I guess I'm looking at some of the other alumni chapters been established for a while. They have their endowments, and they also have like an internal scholarship fund that they set up, but they've had years to develop it. It'll be something that we can do, but it's just about us, just willing to commit to it. But I think it'd be kind of hard with trying to get the endowment set up, and then we're trying to set up, basically 2 forms of scholarship. And it's a good thing to do, but I think we need to focus on getting the endowment up, and then we can work on that. I don't want to overextend us or overcommit to too much at one time.
Colonel Smiley, the immediate answer to your question is no, there isn't. Currently, it's the endowment right now. But yeah, we certainly can, put that what you're asking about on the agenda for discussion for sure. Because it is something that we can do. We just need to plan it out and get it going. But the immediate answer is no.
No, I'm fine. And Rich, I concur with you. The endowment should be the immediate keep funding, because that will be self-sustaining. After 5 years, that's self-sustaining. Or once we get 25,000.
If there are no further questions,
this is Sean. I just still want to make the comment. The fund, the ROTC fund at the university is where you can get your 501, your tax deductible donations. Now, how does the fund and the department come together? I don't know. Maybe we need a briefing from the Office of Development to explain that. But that is a way to provide funding still, and even with the other scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah. So the issues I'm taking away from here is that we need to reach out to the developer, see if how donations can be made directly to the ROTC department that can be used right now, in addition to the endowment being set up. So I get that's a takeaway. I will make a note of that, and we'll have an answer by the next meeting. Okay, next up, we had the Mentorship and Education Committee. Lieutenant Colonel Burton, you have the floor.
And good afternoon, everyone. As you see here with the Mentor and Education Committee, our goal is to help those who would like to develop themselves personally and professionally. And so as we move forward with our mentorship program that we are developing, there are certain things that we have scheduled. I am going to send out the flyer this weekend to everyone so that they can learn some information about the mentorship program and enroll in it. The mentorship program will have, I need to get with you, Richard, on when the end date will be for the enrollment period before I send that flyer out. But more than likely, it will be sometime in October. So we'll have about 3 weeks, maybe a month to enroll as mentors and mentees into the program. October, we're going to have a mentor training. That mentoring training, we're basically going to talk to individuals about the mentorship program and some of the benefits for both the mentor and mentee. And again, I just need to determine, Richard, if we're going to add on 15 minutes to a meeting, our October meeting, or if we're going to have an afternoon, evening session for about an hour for any questions and answers for mentorship training. So that's something I need to work with you and the board with. Lastly, after we have the people sign up for the mentorship program, we will have the individuals sign the agreement and basically have somewhat of a ceremony to kind of to codify it as a program and get their commitment to the as a mentor and mentee. And hopefully in November, we'll have an opportunity during homecoming. Our goal is to have a face-to-face meeting so that the mentor and mentee can meet and greet. Our mentorship program is basically at this point is going to be virtual, and we're going to maximize using the various tools that we have out there for individuals to communicate. But it'll be a good opportunity in November if those individuals do come out to the homecoming. We'll set up an opportunity for them to meet their mentor and mentee. And lastly, we'll also have in November some mentoring training on going through the initial process. Because as you develop, you got to get to know, set some of the guidelines and some of the limitations. So that's what we have planned for the next quarter. Our current issues, I got to get with you, Richard, so that I can send that flyer out today as far as the publicity. And then we have to solidify the mentoring training in October and the specific date that we're going to start the mentorship program. And lastly, as far as concerns, we're still looking for members who would like to be part of the mentorship and education committee. And yeah, and that not too concerned with the schedule and the timeline, other than I'm trying to identify, do we want to have this mentorship program on an ongoing basis, and or do we want to kind of renew it annually? And one of the things, I guess I'll kind of work with Lieutenant Colonel Campbell to see if some of the ROTC students would like to have a mentor from one of the alumni chapters. I think it's a good opportunity to help some of those young individuals navigate that life through school, as well as making that transition into the becoming an officer. And subject to your questions, that's all I have.
Okay, good idea. But I guess about it would be your call as to where you hold the thing. But I think just having 15 minutes after a meeting won't be enough time. That's why we would do it on a separate day to where we could actually spend more time doing it. But But that would be your call as to you want to do it 15 minutes after a meeting.
Okay, I'll get with you on that, because I can do it in 15 minutes. I think most people will understand some of the benefits of a mentorship program. So we can go either way. I have a slide presentation that's adjustable and adaptable.
Okay.
And here's our calendar. This is, of course, this is flexible and changeable, but nothing significant here other than what I just mentioned for the first quarter. And then we'll do some training throughout the year. In January, just doing the cultivation to ensure that individuals are developing and growing. And then in sometime in March, just do an asthma check to make sure that the mentors and mentees are on track. And then we can also probably do a lesson learned as we move forward with the program. And then just looking at the program assessment to see what we're doing, if it's working, if it's something that we want to keep, some adjustments if that needs to be made, we can do that. And then lastly, in July, we're talking about just letting people know how you go about to end the mentorship, mentee-mentor relationship. So we'll have, because there's some could be emotional things there, could just how do you end that? And then of course, next August, we'll have a recognition program and acknowledging those who mentors and mentees that participated. And subject to your questions on this one, that's all I have.
All right. Good. If there are no questions, we'll move on to the next one. Good presentation, Matthew, and we look forward to what you have in store for it. I think it'll be a great thing. Okay, the next thing is the bylaws committee report. And the only thing with that is Woods on. Okay, I guess he's not. I don't see him in the list. Okay, the only thing, we sent out the bylaws again because the only thing that was added, it was 2 amendments added as to how the funds and how the dues and fundraiser fees are going to be allocated. As you see the breakdown, and it's the same for both of them, where it's the dues or the fundraisers. 50% goes to chapter operation, 30% goes to scholarship, 10% goes to mentorship and fellowship. And those are just the 2 amendments that were added to the bylaws. And as stated, so when we do a fundraiser, or if somebody wants to make a donation for a specific thing, then we will follow the request of the donor. But if no requests are made and no special if no special considerations are asked, then we're going to go with the allocation breakdown as was stated before. Only thing to add, need more committee people on the bylaws committee, and if you read through and if something needs to be changed, just let us know. We'll forward on to the vice president, James Woods, and he'll make a change, then present it to the body for approval to be added to the bylaws or amended. If there are no questions, we'll go on to the, as was stated earlier, the only old business is that we would need someone to volunteer to be the assistant secretary. We're reaching out to the person who came in second place during the voting. The new business that I have the next slide is Walter Smiley talk, because he's the elections chairperson. This is a election year, which means that in fiscal year, at the end of this year, new officers will be selected and every position is open. So we do want to encourage you to be active, and I'll let Walter take the floor down as he goes over the nomination and election procedures. Walter, you have the floor.
I appreciate it. So first of all, I will just kind of go over some of the procedures here and according to the bylaw. First of all, hey, Rich, if possible, I'm not getting any emails, so I'll get with you just to make sure I'm on the distro list. So
Okay.
I apologize.
I've added you on there. I realized you wasn't on there. I've added you on there already.
Okay, good. So for the nomination and election procedures, according to the bylaws, in order to be a candidate, you must be an active member of the chapter. That's non-negotiable. The positions that we will be voting on is the president, the vice president, secretary, and the memberships that you see, the positions that you see listed there. Sorry about that. So the last meeting of the calendar year is when I would do the presentation. What I failed to do here is give it a timeline, and I will update with the timeline to go through that. We look to do the elections through election runner. So what that means is that through the secretary and the treasurer, I would make sure that I have all the email addresses and all the contacts before sending out a ballot to do the election. I kind of made this a little bit different. I apologize because I didn't realize this. I was a little bit off when I put this together here. If you can go to the next slide. All right. So what I would do is the meeting before, we will make the announcement for the slate of candidates that's available. I will entertain names submitted to the committee to do the list. I'm sorry, 2 meetings before, we will put the candidate slate out there. I apologize for the background noise. And then I will also take names from the floor as needed once we present the slate. We will take names kind of as listed there as just more of a procedural thing. We'll go through each one of the slated candidates and see if there's any individuals that want to be added to that slate. After 3 announcements, of course, we will close out that position. Next slide. All right. So as soon as practical, so this is according to the bylaws, as soon as practically possible, we will close out, and within 10 calendar days, we will have the slate ready to be sent to the body to vote on. Again, as I stated before, in order for you to be eligible, you would have to have been a member for at least 30 days prior to sending out the electronic ballot. And then active members will receive the ballot using election runner. Once the election is complete, the nomination committee will send those results to the president or chairman of the board to make any deconfliction and to make any announcements for the election. Again, the next slide, Rich, is just the list of officers that we will vote on. I will entertain any questions because I know that was kind of choppy, but if you have any questions, I can entertain them.
Does anyone have any questions for Walter?
And Rich, I will get with you again just to go over the timeline, and I will put a better timeline list together so that everybody's aware of when we do the election.
Okay. Yeah, we appreciate it. We just want to put word out now so that people are aware. They can nominate anyone at any time, if I'm correct, Walter, until.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And then, like I said, we will they can.
Okay, we thank you for the presentation, Walter. Does anyone have any questions for him?
So Rich, when you say nominate anyone, anytime, anywhere, are you talking about in between that timeline, correct?
Right. I think you have until he closes the slate to nominate people. And I guess we're saying you can start nominating people now, but one of the keys to it is they have to already been in the chapter at least 30 days before they can be nominated to fill a position.
You saying you can nominate people now?
Yeah, you can submit names to Walter now for different positions, yes.
Okay, I just thought that was I thought that was a little ambitious.
Yeah, so here's the deal. You can send me names all day long and I'll add them to the list. But before we do any elections, we're going to confirm that they're still active, and then we'll do the procedures to accept names on the floor. I would personally, you can always canvass and see who you think, or if you want to be, whatever position, you can send it to me. But there will be a real designated time period to make sure that we have all the people that are interested.
Because said, I understand what you're saying, but they have to be vetted before they put on the ballot anyway. So you can submit names or nominate people, but they still have to go through a vetting process.
I get that too, Richard, but it's not that hard to vet. But I understand.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? All right, what I have here, I know it may be a little bit hard to read, but this was something that was in a newsletter, the last newsletter Colonel Milton put out. This is the current cadet battalion chain of command. Okay, and it's in the presentation that was emailed out, so I'm not gonna read all the names, but yeah, this is just a list of all the people who make up the current cadet chain of command. Colonel Campbell, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
How many people are actually in the battalion now?
Not including CSIM, so I got a bunch of ones, and some of them are serious about the program, some are not, but we're just over 50. I want to say we're going to lose a couple here soon because they're going to commission, but in fall, we're going to lose some in fall. We're going to lose some hopefully by the end of September, commissioning hopefully, but just over 50 actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
I picked those leadership because we're, some of the positions are just really unnecessary because we're small, but some of them really seem to apply. If you have any nuggets you want to talk to any one of them, and, hey, you're doing a job that I've done or something, you have questions or any of that type of stuff, that might help mentorship.
Hey, Richard, this Colonel Terry, this is for Colonel Campbell. Colonel Campbell, do you have a protocol officer for anyone who wants to come visit your department? For example, myself, to come visit with you and then possibly, visit what your, look at what your cadets are doing. Like, for example, I think you have a land navigation coming up here next week or so. Do you have a contact person to kind of get get a name on a list? Say, hey, this is, Colonel Terry is showing up, as a visitor, or do we contact you directly? What's your process for that?
So I would recommend, so right now, when I've got an APMS inbound, he's supposed to arrive 1 November. And when he arrives, I'm going to make him in charge of that. But right now, no, I do not have anybody. There's the patent intern, but I'm getting him mostly after the tactics. So right now it's just me and I'm that person. Like I said, we're kind of light. So it's myself, Sergeant Brummer, and the LT. So I'd feel most comfortable with me. I actually was only made aware of this recently. So I wasn't aware that navigation bit was coming through, but I know that Sergeant Brummer went out there and revamped our land navigation course. I don't know what the course that was intended to be used on, what the Navy was talking about, but I'm going to reach out to them, talk to them, and see what all they need from us. But for you, just coordinating through me would be great.
Okay. Yeah. And I think I'll check with Billy. I think we have to check with with the Office of Development to make sure that they're aware too. But I'll let you know about that, Earl. But yeah, they say as long as you have coordination with the department you're going to, that's fine. But I'll let you know what other requirements university needs, if they need like vaccine approval, or you have to have a positive COVID test also. So I think that's one of the things. And I was gonna say, Colonel Campbell, I was gonna try and come down this Thursday also.
Yeah, if you reach out to me beforehand, again, it's on the newsletter, what weeks, what, doing what, but ideally you jump on, Thursdays are good because that's our lab. But you jump on one of those opportune days. I think I took over the lab last time because CG was talking to us, and that was an awesome conversation. That's a great conversation. I did record it if there's anybody who's interested in hearing what we were talking about. Some of the some of the conversation was real intense and some of it was very lighthearted. But it was an opportunity, a truly amazing opportunity for the two-star to talk to the cadets. I don't think they yet appreciate or realize what an opportunity and how rare that sort of opportunity is. We were the first HBCU that he has talked to, and he's already had 2 conversations in as many weeks with me. So as far as he knows in U.S. Army Cadet Command, you know, there are HBCUs, but the only one he knows personally is Prairie View. So good stuff.
All right, Colonel Campbell, yeah, this is Colonel Terry. I'm going to shoot you an email requesting to visit you on Thursday.
Okay, and these are the list of events that he's talking about here. So like saying, if anyone needs Colonel Campbell's email address, I'll supply it to you so that way you can contact him if you want to attend. Okay, yeah, Colonel Campbell, we do have some people that would like to hear the recording, so if you can send me the link, I'll forward it out. Okay. This is the chapter information, and I'm sorry, I need to close it down. I don't have any alibis. Anyone else have any alibis or closing comments before we end the meeting? Okay, the next board meeting is October 7th at 1800 hours, and the next journal meeting will be on October 9th at 1200 hours. Pending your questions, Jeff, you can go ahead and close the meeting.
Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 13:12, 9/18/2021.
All right.
Aye, Walter.
Second.
All righty.
All right, it's been moved and properly second that the meeting is adjourned. The meeting is adjourned. I'm gonna stop the recording.